Hey everyone, welcome back to America in Mind, where your voice still matters. And every episode asks the question, is this what we want for America? In recent weeks, the immigration debate in America has reignited, not just in Washington, but in the streets, in our cities, and on our farms. ICE agents have become both enforcers and targets, drawing praise and condemnation from opposite sides of the aisle. This is no longer just about policy. It's about identity, law, morality, and what kind of country we want to be. I'm your host, and this is America in Mind. Let's take a closer look at what's happening with ICE, illegal immigration, and the ripple effects across our nation, and ask the question, is this what we want for our country? Welcome to America in Mind, where we don't chase clicks, we chase truth. We have a lot to get into, so let's dive in. Earlier this month, ICE agents carried out a high-profile raid on a cannabis farm in Ventura County, California, a place called Glass House Farms. Over 300 undocumented workers were detained, and some were suspected to be minors, forced into labor under exploitative conditions. During that raid, tragedy struck. Jaime Alanís, a 57-year-old worker, panicked, climbed onto an irrigation tower, and fell 30 feet to his death. While ICE insists he wasn't being pursued, the incident sparked immediate outcry from immigrant rights advocates and community leaders. It was chaos, and it's only one example.
Demanding dignity, farm worker advocates gathered at historic Placita Alvera Monday afternoon, calling for a nationwide farm labor strike.
We are not machines. We are not criminals. We are the backbone of our food system, and we are tired of being treated as disposable.
Farm workers are planning to walk off the job to show how much they matter to the U.S. economy for a 3-day strike starting Wednesday. The call to action follows last week's massive immigration raid at a cannabis facility in Camarillo, leading to violent clashes between protesters and law enforcement. One worker even plunged to his death trying to get away. Agents detained more than 300 undocumented immigrants. ICE says some with violent criminal backgrounds and at least 14 children were rescued from potential exploitation. But despite growing public backlash, Trump officials say these raids are the new normal, vowing to aggressively ramp up deportations thanks to $150 billion in additional funding from Trump's recently passed signature spending bill.
Leave us alone, because we're coming over here to war. We're not coming over here to rap. We're not coming over here to do things wrong.
Assaults on ICE agents have spiked by nearly 700% this year. That's not a typo. In Texas, over the 4th of July weekend, ICE agents were ambushed. Gunfire erupted near a federal holding facility. And in California, an ICE officer's identity was publicly exposed by a U.S. congressman, leading to that agent being physically attacked by protesters. The Department of Homeland Security has confirmed agents are being targeted with bricks, fireworks, and physical assaults, simply for doing their jobs. And that has led to an urgent and divisive political response. And it's not just happening in California. Across the country, from the West Coast to the South, ICE agents are facing unprecedented hostility.
There was also another attack on an ICE facility in Portland, Oregon Friday night, a facility that has been the site of an ongoing protest for several weeks.
In Portland, Oregon, federal officers have reported being targeted with bricks, fireworks, and frozen water bottles. Some ICE field offices were vandalized, and agents had to be evacuated due to violent rioters. So, what do our politicians have to say? Republicans have doubled down. Former President Trump, speaking at a recent rally, said he has authorized ICE agents to use whatever means necessary to protect themselves and enforce immigration law. He's pushing for 10,000 more agents with expanded powers and funding. Senator Eric Schmidt has proposed new legislation to double the penalties for anyone who attacks an ICE officer, raising the stakes for those who interfere. On the other side, Democrats have raised serious concerns about civil liberties. California's Governor Gavin Newsom condemned the raids, calling them heavy-handed and inhumane. And LA Mayor Karen Bass is even giving free money to illegal immigrants who are, quote, too scared to go to work.
I want you to hear, Chief, what LA Mayor Karen Bass said today, "I would think that the mayor of Los Angeles would be horrified to see that children are working in the fields, okay, who were brought across the border, obviously a purpose to bring them across the border. But instead, this is what she's saying."
We also are going to have a reinstitution of the Angelino card, something that Mayor Garcetti started during COVID, that will actually provide cash assistance to people. Because, you have people who don't want to leave their homes, who are not going to work, and they are in need of cash.
She is giving out free cash, just cash, to illegals. So if you want to talk about incentivizing illegal activity, stay home, don't go to work, and then the bishop out there, one of them says, don't go to church. So this is a dream for them. And they just get free money.
Cities like Chicago and New York are actively resisting ICE cooperation, creating so-called sanctuary zones where local law enforcement won't work with federal agents. In Congress, progressive lawmakers are pushing for immigration protections around schools, churches, and hospitals, and reviving calls for a path to citizenship for millions. Across the country, Americans are reacting in very different ways. In Los Angeles, Chicago, and Atlanta, thousands marched in protest, some holding signs that read, "Abolish ICE," while others pleaded for humane reform. In small towns and rural communities, support for enforcement is stronger than ever. Many residents say they feel ICE is the last line of defense against rising crime, drug trafficking, and overwhelmed local resources. Recent polling shows a country divided. 65% of Americans support some form of legal path for undocumented immigrants. 89% of Democrats are in favor, compared to 41% of Republicans. But among conservatives, concern over border security, violent crime, and economic strain continues to drive support for tougher measures. This isn't just a legal battle, it's an emotional one, fueled by fear, compassion, justice, and resentment. And it's tearing at the seams of our national identity. So, what are the actual effects of ICE's recent actions? For better or worse? Let's start with what's working. ICE has removed hundreds of violent criminals from communities in recent weeks, including child predators, gang leaders, and repeat offenders. In some cases, raids have exposed illegal labor operations that were exploiting vulnerable workers. But there's a darker side. Innocent people are being caught in the crossfire, like Jaime Alanís. Fear is spreading in immigrant communities, making families less likely to report crimes or cooperate with police. ICE's actions, whether justified or not, are being used as fuel for violent protests, and the officers on the ground are paying the price. This is the complexity of the moment. We need enforcement, but we also need empathy. We need security, but we also need accountability. So what can we do? First, stay informed. Follow real-time updates from sources on both sides of the issue. Don't rely on headlines. Dig deeper. Second, know your rights, whether you're a citizen, an immigrant, or just someone trying to help. Knowledge is power. And finally, speak up. Respectfully, intelligently, and without fear. Go to town halls. Write your leaders. Share your thoughts, not just your anger. Because this isn't just about ICE. It's about who we are as Americans. And who we're becoming. Now, before you go, I want to ask you this. Do you believe ICE is doing what's necessary to protect our country, or have their tactics gone too far? How should we handle illegal immigration in a way that protects both our borders and human dignity? With assaults on ICE agents rising nationwide, what message are we sending? And is it the right one? Drop a comment below, and let's keep this conversation going. If you're someone who believes truth still matters, and that America is worth thinking about, then like, share, and subscribe. This is America in mind. Stay grounded, stay vigilant, stay informed, and mostly, stay free.